then you push me away. It's all empty promise.
Hi guys, I'm Annabelle and welcome to Meeple Village. Today we're going to be doing a full run through of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice. And this is a campaign game. We're going to be jumping right into the middle of that campaign that I started to show you guys the game flow of the game. So join me at the table and let's play Assassin's Creed. Alright guys, I have the game almost ready to go. I actually think I have it almost like ready to go. But this is a campaign game. We are going to be playing through campaign mission 0.3, or in this game they're called memories. So we're going to be doing memory 0.3, and the reason why I picked this one is because the first two memories were really trying to introduce you to the game. So this game kind of comes like, it lets you play right out of the box. You don't have to read all the rules. You can just learn as you go, which is great, but then it means that you don't get to see everything that the game can offer. But I feel like Memory 0.3 takes you through a real turn where the enemies are going to act at the end of your turn, and they're going to bring reinforcements and all that stuff. So I felt like this was at least a really good spot to show you what the game feels like. And of course there's going to be more mechanics introduced, probably, I don't know, because I haven't played. I know that the assassins are going to get abilities, but I didn't want to spoil those for you, so I thought that this was a great place to show you what the flow of the game is. But let's go to the book and see what is our objective for mission 0.3. Alright, so here's our memory 0.3, Poor Little Templars. You can read the flavor text if you like. If you don't want to get it spoiled, then you don't have to read it. And underneath that, we have the setup. So I've done all of this already. I've created the map as shown here. You don't have to actually match the tiles completely. What you have to make sure is you have the walls that match the map, and that the tiles, which are divided into three, we have inside tiles, rooms that are featured inside, these two for example. Then we have roof tiles, which are these. And then we have outside tiles, which are these white ones. So they're pretty easy to distinguish. But like, again, what's important is where the walls are placed. And I think I have that right. I will double check it in a minute. All right, and it tells you what components you need, and then gives you a little bit of instructions, which I've already done. And then here is important. Once all assassins have been finished playing their first phase, the enemies come into play, because this is the first memory where that actually happens. In the other memories, they were having like a partial phase, and in the first memory, they were having no phase at all. So again, like I told you, you can learn as you go. So it's telling you what rules to go read in case you are not familiar with them. So they're all in the, of course, rule book. All right, and then so we already did this as well, took the large card and followed instructions. I'll show you in a minute. And then here's our objectives. Important. To complete this memory, choose one objective and complete it. You can optionally choose a second objective. And here's our objectives. We can either go to Cesare Borgia's apartment or to the armory. And the number tells you how many action cubes you need to use in order to complete that objective. So this one is definitely easier with just one action cube needed. That one has two, but of course this one is going to give you better XP than this one. And then here in this game you can do what's called a 100% sync, where you sync the memory 100%. And for this one, in order to do that, we have to eliminate one or more guards with a hidden blade. That's the symbol for hidden blade, and then we would get that sticker. Okay, and there's a couple things to remember, which hopefully I will remember. All right, so what do we have out here? Well, we have our board, just like it was indicated on the map, with a tower that we can climb. In the last mission, it had numbers, so you could remember how to climb the tower. And then there's a hiding spot, this cart that will keep you hidden from enemies, that we can, when we're on the tower, we can jump into. So that's that one. That's Borgia's apartment, indicated by the 1. So remember, the Borgia's apartment was easier to complete. So and of course there's already a guard there protecting Borgia's apartment. He will not move from that spot. He is glued to his guard post. There is a ladder that obviously all these guys are supposed to be on standees, but I just figured you could see them better from the top view, so I left them face, like laying down. So this guy, for example, crossbowman, cannot climb if there's no ladder. So he wouldn't be able to climb from here to here, but he can climb from here to here. and try and get us. We can climb because we're assassins, so we're very skilled, parkour kind of deal. So we can go up to the roofs without the use of a ladder. So roof, another ladder, outside spots. This is where we start. We have this, I forgot what it's called, but this tower of memories or something. That's always where we start the game. And to complete the mission, we have to come back to this tower in order to escape the memory and complete the memory. So we always have to come back here. Let's see, there is more roofs, and this is the armory, again guarded by a guard. The compass, because we're going to have enemies move, and we're going to most probably use the compass if an assassin is exposed. That means that he's triggered, guards can see him, then the guards will move towards that assassin specifically. But if they're not, then we're going to use, you'll see the compass to move the enemies. And then hopefully I won't get exposed, right? And then these letters indicate where the entrances, where the reinforcements, so more guards are going to be coming in. And in this game, unlike Zombicide, where if you spawn a monster, it doesn't move this turn. This game is brutal. Like, they will spawn monsters, or not monsters, but guards, and then they will move the same turn and attack you. So you have to be strategic about where you end your turn, making sure that you're away from enemies if possible, which is hard to do when they have like 4 doors that they can come through. Well, I guess they're not doors, but entrances. We have chests, so we've already collected a few. We're on chest number 3. So most probably once we go up the tower, at least that's what happened last time, we were able to spot the chest somewhere on the map and then spawn the chest and then go collect it. So most probably that's what's going to happen. We have an equipment deck, which we're going to shuffle the chest. You don't shuffle, you get them in order. These things we're going to collect when we defeat enemies and then hide and search their bodies. So in this game, kind of like in the video game, you can loot bodies once you've defeated them, and then also you need to hide them, because if they stick around, it's easier for enemies to spot you and you becoming exposed. So there's that. Down here we have our characters, which I will show you up close in a minute, so we'll skip that. This is our player aid, which I will also show you in a minute. It shows you the different actions and how much they cost to do, and also the game turn and the phases of the turn. And then finally up here we have our tower. So once we go up on the tower and we synchronize it, I think is what it's called, by spending a cube, we get to turn this over. And last time it had a map of where the chest was hidden, so I'm guessing that's what it is. We have events. At the beginning of every turn, we're going to draw an event card. Some are good, some not so good, so we'll see. And then this is our enemy, board, where it gives you information on our enemies. And we're going to have 2 kinds of enemies, ranged and melee enemies. And there it is, range and melee. So we have already the crossbow man on the board, and it tells you here, information on how they work. And then we have the agile guards, which are melee. These guys can climb up roofs also without need of a ladder. We have our reinforcement cards over here, which we'll be drawing at the end of every turn to bring more enemies in. And then this is our alert status. It starts on green, but it can become red depending on what weapon you use, depending on if you fail a detection test. And of course, when it's red, what happens is more enemies come out to go get you because they know we're here. So I think that's it. Let's take a look at the player aid so we can get started. I'll also show you our characters once they start taking their turn. So game turn. The first thing we're going to do is an event phase, draw an event card and apply its effect. So we're going to draw an event card in a minute. Then we're going to go to the assassin phase, where we can play a assassin's actions. And it's important to note that in this game you can play actions however you want. So one assassin can take 2 actions, and then the other assassin takes 1 action and then go back to the first assassin, or you can take all 3 actions with one assassin and then all 3 actions with the other. It's up to you how you want to plan your turn. And of course, I'm only playing with 2 assassins, but you can go up to 4 assassins, I believe. Then we have the enemy phase, when first they're going to bring in reinforcements, then they're going to move, and then they're going to combat. So we can get killed right away, pretty much. Not kill, but get some damage right away. And then the end of the turn phase, where we check whether to start a new game turn or not. We refresh all of our action cubes, etc. And these are the actions that we can take For 1 to 3 cubes, we can complete an objective. So like I told you, our cubes, Borgia's apartment is 1 cube, but the armory takes 2 cubes to complete. For 1 cube, we can trade our stuff. For 1 cube, we can save a cube and use it during the enemy's turn. So say we can use a 1, and hopefully you'll see it. I'll try to save a cube if I remember. I didn't think it was super helpful last time, but we'll try it. From 0 to 1, we get to equip stuff. So we get new stuff, we have to use a cube to equip it. 1 cube plus 1 cube to climb the tower and synchronize. So you need 1 action cube to actually climb to the tower, and then 1 action cube to synchronize the tower, which is when you turn the card over and see the map. If it is a map, I don't know what it's going to be this turn. And then for 1, we can search and hide 1 or more bodies. So you can hide as many bodies and search as many bodies as there are in your square that have been defeated. Of course, not the live ones, but the ones we defeated. We can search and hide them with 1 cube, all of them. And then for 1 cube, we get to move. In this game, we move orthogonally, so there's no diagonal movement. There is no, we have to move orthogonally, either north, south, east, or west. For 0 to 2 cubes, we can use an equipment or attack, and that's going to be shown in our weapons, and I'll show you those in a second. And then for 1 cube, we use the fast travel station, which is the name of the tower. I was calling it the wrong name, I apologize. So once we reach the tower, we need to use a cube to exit the memory. Okay, and then this says try to save one cube specially to play in between the two steps of the enemy phase. Okay, so that's pretty much our player aid. And this is one of our characters, Daria, and she is at level 0. She has a special ability for no cubes, for no action cubes. Once per turn, give 1 cube back to 1 assassin or for yourself who used all their cubes on your map and who stayed incognito since the beginning of this turn. So she's great as giving you extra actions if you can stay incognito and you used all your cubes. So once they use all their cubes, they can get a cube back. And then she has a couple of weapons. In the hidden blade slot, she has, well, guess what? A hidden blade. And this one takes 1 cube to use. If you're incognito, eliminate 1 guard on your square. And the great thing about this one is that it doesn't alert the guards to you, because for example the cavalry mace, which I got last time, if you use it, you're going to turn the alert to red, and that's not good because, like I said, more enemies are going to come. But for 1 cube, you get to roll 2 dice and if you get that result, there is a special ability that happens. If your attack eliminated 2 guards, eliminate 1 more on the targeted square. So it's really good to get rid of a lot of enemies all at once. But I probably will be using the ones that keep me hidden, which the throwing knives are also ones that keep me hidden. They're ranged, so you can use it from a nearby square, which means either on your square or the one north, south, east, or west of you. This one, though, cannot be used in a canal, and I'm only going to be rolling 1 die to try and defeat enemies. But if I get the retaliate symbol, which is these sword things, which means that the enemies will attack me back, I can ignore this result if there is only 1 enemy on the targeted square. And if I get that symbol, 1 guard is eliminated and your stock of knives is depleted. This card is discarded. So hopefully we don't get that result because we don't want to deplete our knives. And then she has 2 items. Let me move them. There's actually space for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, or 5 equipment, I should say. We have a parachute for 2 cubes. If you're on a roof or at the top of a tower, move to another roof on this map. Eliminate 1 guard on your arrival square. Lay their miniature down, of course, before any detection test. So it's a good way to move and eliminate without having to roll a detection test, because as soon as you enter a square with an enemy, you are going to be rolling a detection test and hopefully not getting spotted, but we could. And then a smoke bomb for 1 cube, target a nearby square, again, your square or north, south, east, or west of you. Any exposed assassin ally on that square becomes incognito and their red base stays on the square. When you become exposed, you do put a red base on your character until you move out of that square, and then you leave your red square behind, because it's kind of like, oh, they know you were there. They saw you there in that square, so they know you're nearby. And that is Daria. Let's take a look at our other character. Actually, there's one more thing I forgot to show you, because last time she got this Roman armor, which adds 1 health to her. So everybody started the game with 3 health, but now Daria has 4 health cubes, and you just put it under there. I'm going to put it under there in the table. Before I go to our guy who's upside down, to Claudio, you'll notice everybody has an extra cube. That's because, like you saw on the player aid, for 1 action you can save a cube, which will go here, that you can use during during the enemy phase. All right, so let's take a look at Claudio, and then we can start. So Claudio has no armor, so he only has 3 health, but most of the other stuff is going to be very familiar. He has a hidden blade, he has the throwing knives, just like Daria, but he has a common sword, which again, if he uses it, is going to alert people, so I probably won't be using it. It does roll 2 dice, which is a little bit better than the other things. Well, this one actually is the best, especially for Claudia, you'll see in a minute. But again, 1 cube, and if you get that result, 1 card on the targeted square moves back to a nearby square of your choice, including if there is 1 or more red bases on his square. And this white cards means you don't lose them unless something makes you lose them, like with the throwing knives. The black cards, you get to keep them. And he's got the same 2 equipment, parachute and smoke bomb. His ability, though, is quite interesting. Once per turn, if you're incognito, use your hidden blade for 0 action cubes. So instead of costing me 1, it's going to cost me 0. So he's a little bit better at, more efficient at killing with the hidden blade. And that's it for him. Okay, so I know that was a lot, but I felt like it was important for you to at least have an idea, because once we start, the game goes by pretty quickly. The turns are not that complicated, you'll see. We're going to start with the event phase, so we're going to turn over an event card and apply its effects. So we got a dead end. During this turn, 1 assassin can remove 1 ladder placed on their square for 0 action cubes. Okay? And we know that the enemies at the end of the turn are going to move north. That's kind of how we know and can plan accordingly. Of course, these guys are not going to move. They're glued to their post. But any enemies that, well, this guy wouldn't move, this guy wouldn't move. But if there's an enemy here that spawns on the B entrance, it will move north. And if there's an enemy that spawns on the A entrance, it will move north. So it's good to know that and keep that in mind. All right, so we can remove a ladder in our square for 0, but of course we're not in a ladder square right now. So let's go. I kind of want to divide and conquer if possible, because I am greedy, so I do want to get both objectives. I think I'm going to send, let's see, if there's a wall here, so I would have to move. The only place I can move is there. Actually, I think because of that, let's just do it for both. Because there's nothing happening on this square. So now they both used an action and they moved. For 0, we can remove this ladder. Shall we remove the ladder? Yeah, why not? That way we can prevent enemies from, at least crossbowmen from, climbing up and down. I don't know if that would be better to remove that ladder or maybe even this ladder, but we'll go with this one since we're here. And that was 0. I don't even know who did it. Let's say it was Daria that did it. Doesn't really matter. So I guess we're going to have Claudio use an action to go north. And I know that if enemies spawn here, they will move up here. So I'm going to use another action to get out of the way. I won't be able to do anything cool. I could go climb the tower. You know what? I think so. Let's climb the tower. Instead of moving here, we'll climb the tower for 1. I don't have another cube to synchronize the tower. However, for 0 actions, once per turn, give back 1 cube to 1 assassin or to yourself who used older actions on their map and who stayed incognito since the beginning of this turn. He has stayed incognito since the beginning of his turn, so we're going to give him 1 action so that he can go ahead and synchronize the tower. And why not? Let's do it. Let's synchronize the tower. So once we synchronize the tower, we turn the tower card on the other side. And that, I like that we're doing that in turn 1, because that way if there's a chest, I have more time to go grab it. So yes, there is a chest, so we're going to place that, and let's see, I don't know that we'll have time to get it. Hopefully we will, because I like chests. Who doesn't, right? So the chest is right here, and I don't think we're going to need this anymore. So she's used her ability, she cannot use it again. He didn't get to kill anybody. Now, in order to get out of here, he's going to have to jump to the, what is it called? The cart. But we will do that next turn. I like where he's at. No attack, nobody's gonna reach him up there, so he's good. Now this girl though, she might be in trouble because I want to take her over here, which will take me to, you know what? I think I'm just gonna move one, and then I'm gonna save my other cube. Because if I move here and guys come in through there, they might spot me, and I really don't want to be spotted if I don't have to. After all, that's, you know, assassins are stealthy, right? So I think I'm going to leave it like that, and maybe I can use my cube on the enemy's turn. Okay, so that's the end of that. We completed all, used all our cubes, so we go to the next phase where we're going to have the enemy phase, and here we go. We're going to get some reinforcements. So the way we do that is we grab a reinforcement card, and we're going to get a couple of crossbowmen. All right, so the way we actually do this is that we look at whether we are on green or we are on red. And right now we are on green, luckily. So we are going to spawn these monsters. There's going to be, not monsters, but guards. There's going to be a guard entering through A, one through B, and one through D. Let's do it. So one through A, which is here, one through B, which is here, and one through D, which is here. He's going to be guarding that armory. Perfect. So now we would go to the movement phase, but before we do that, I did save a cube, and I'm not afraid to use it. So I'm going to use it to use my throwing knives. I'm going that way, so I want to eliminate this enemy if possible. He'll just be laying there. Oh, you know, this is going to be difficult to lay them down. How are we going to know? You know what? We'll figure it out in a minute. So I roll one white die. That's all I roll, and if we get that, the enemy retaliates. Of course, according to our weapon, we get to ignore that if we do, but usually they will hit us back. That is a damage. That is another retaliate, another damage, and this one is the symbol that will trigger our ability, which is bad for us because we get to discard our throwing knives. Okay, and we do get a hit. So if we look at his card, he has 1 health. This guy though has 2, so it's going to be a little harder to kill if we ever get one of them. And I did put them on standees because when you defeat an enemy, you lay them down until you get to hide their bodies. So he's just kind of there. All right, so I did that. Now we go to the movement phase. Like I said, no one's exposed. So if no one's exposed, they just follow whatever the event card says. So they're all moving north. This guy is glued to his post. He's not going to move. This guy's going to move north. And these 2 guys are glued to their post. So they're also not going to move. And that's it. Let me not put them on the cart because I'm going to be jumping there hopefully soon. After we do that, then all we have to do is replenish our cubes, action cube pool, and we are good to go. We go to the next phase, next turn. So of course the first thing we're going to do is we're going to reveal an event card, and we get evade. During this turn, for each of their attacks, the assassins can ignore and re-roll 1 dice that has rolled retaliate. Okay, so let's attack. So I'm going to have Daria go first because I kind of know what she wants to do. She's going to go in here, and then she's going to hide this body and search it, which means we get an equipment. What do we find? We found another parachute, so I'll just put it here. And this guy's might come back, so I'm not going to put him too far. And then for her last action, maybe, because I remember she was incognito the whole time, so she can regain a cube because of her ability, or I can give it to Claudia. We'll see how that goes. For her last action, we are going to try and defeat that enemy with our throwing knives, rolling 1 die. Let's hope for the best here. And we did get it. All right, so he is going to lay down here and just I guess wait for next turn, or maybe, well, if I go in there with 1 cube, I still can't get rid of the body, so we might leave him for next turn. So now we have to figure out what he's gonna do. Okay, so I really would like to get that chest. However, I have to jump to the cart. So I can jump to the cart for 0 actions. However, boom, I did it, 0 actions. Because there's an enemy in the square, they might have heard me plop down, so I gotta do a detection test, so hopefully we can stay incognito. So, but let's do a detection test because you haven't seen that one already. and because I have to, of course. So this is the result that we don't want to get. That makes us exposed. This one, it will make us exposed if we are on red alert, but right now we're still on green, so we will be good if we get this one. That's a blank. There's another one of those, and then there's another exposed, a couple of exposed. So how many exposed we got? Ooh, there's a 50% chance that we will get exposed. Let's try not to. But we don't. We do not get exposed. So because we don't get exposed, from a hidden spot, there's a few things that you can do. One is you can use your hidden blade, which I'm going to do. The other one is we can hide bodies. The other one is we can get out of the hidden spot and come out to the square for 0 action points, but we don't want to do that yet. We cannot use a melee or ranged weapons from a hidden spot. But, you know, I am incognito, and Claudia has an ability where once per turn, if you're incognito, you can use my hidden blade for 0. So we're going to use my hidden blade and get rid of this guy. And then for 1 action, I'm going to hide the body and, of course, search, because he'll give me more equipment. We got medicine. So it's really hard to heal assassins. So this item is, or equipment is really important and really good. For 1 action cube, 1 wounded assassin ally on your square or yourself recovers up to 3 health without exceeding the maximum, of course. Or 1 assassin or ally in critical condition, which means they don't have any more health, on your square except you recovers 1 to 3 and up to 3 health, and gets back up incognito. So we don't need to use that right now. We'll keep it though. So here it is. And then I'm going to use 1 action cube to move over here and 1 to open that chest. When you open that chest, you get XP as well as our chest item, which is Roman armor. And it's the same thing she has. So Claudio now can have up to 4 health. However, I need to equip it, so I'm just going to put it on my stash of things, on my inventory. So I'm up to 4 out of the 5 that I can have, but I'm okay with that. And then it is the end of our turn, but she hasn't used her ability, so I guess we'll give a cube to Claudio so he can use it to equip his armor and go up to 4 health. Okay, and I'm mostly doing it to free up space in case I had to, hide more bodies, because I see 2 bodies here. There might be more coming, and I don't have any more room, or I was running out of room in my inventory. So, but with that, we're done. So we're going to go to the enemy phase. So first, reinforcements. Let's see what we get. We're still on green, so we're going to get 2 on A and 1 on B. So 2 on A, and of course this time I forgot to check which way they were moving. Oh, they're moving north again. Okay, well, we're not anywhere there. And then 1 on B, which is a problem because that's where I'm standing. And if I had a cube, if I had saved the cube, I could use a smoke bomb and make me incognito even if he finds me, but I don't, so hopefully I stay incognito, because if I do, the guy will just move away. So let's do a detection test for Daria. And we actually passed. So yeah, we're incognito. He can't see us. We're hiding somewhere on the roof. You have to kind of think about that. This tiles are little, but this is actually like a big space. So maybe he's far away on the roof and can't see me, and I'm like dug down and hidden. So because that happened, now we're gonna go to movement. I don't have anything I can do, and they're all gonna move north because we're not exposed. So these guys are gonna go here. Oof. And this guy is going to come over here, and I don't know, maybe he can't see that the guard at Borgia's place is down. So I don't know. I'm not going to tell him. All right, so we're done. We are going to replenish our action cubes. And we're going to start a new turn with an event. By the way, the events, on the top, that we have all the 0.3 memory events, and then after we're done with the 0.3 memory events, we're reusing all the events that we've used in the past from memories 0.1 and 0.2. We get Ladro. So it says immediately roll 1 die for each assassin. For each hit, a thief steals 1 equipment card of the player's choice from the assassin's board. Affected players can use 1 cube to recover this card, otherwise discard it. Oh man. So there's 2 assassins, we're rolling 2. But we didn't get any hits. Oh my gosh, that was perfect. I hope I don't roll like that when I'm trying to hit enemies, but this was good. So I guess we are that stealthy that even the thieves can't get to us. All right, so that was the event. So now we go to our action phase, and well, Daria has work to do. He can kind of rope around. They're moving south, so these guys are going to come down here, and nobody else is going to move. That's in the board right now. And if we get new enemies, these ones won't move because they can't move off the board, and these guys will go here. So I think he might want to just sweep around, and because getting detected in the game is not a good thing. So the least amount of that I can do, even if it takes me a little longer to move around, the better. Okay. So, Daria is going to use her throwing knives and try to defeat that guy. Let's see how she does. All right, look at us. Very good. So, this guy is down. And that was, of course, we needed to use a cube for that. And then we're going to use a cube to move in here. And we're going to use a cube to hide these bodies. Again, one cube hides all the bodies. And get 2 equipment cards, 1 per guy. So we get an investigation. This card must always be played. Okay. It says, stop searching. 1 crossbow man on a nearby square immediately moves to your square. Perform a detection test. Oh, that's no bueno. Okay, so we're not going to search anymore. However, there are no crossbow men in any nearby square, which with the walls would just be this one. So at least it wasn't that bad. And if we ever run out of equipment cards, you just shuffle and go again. The way we are killing things looks like that might happen, which we might get another one of those guys that tells us to stop searching. By the way, this is the base for how many enemies can be guarding the objective. There can only be 4 enemies in a square. That does not apply for assassins, that's only for enemies. So I guess if there was 3 here and then a 4th one comes up, then he could move out of the square because 3 guards is enough to, to protect the apartment. So she's done. I might give her a cube back so she can complete the objective, but let's move Dario first. So I think Dario is just going to go 1, 2, I use 2 cubes, and a 3rd one to come up here. And I don't think he needs to go in there and deal with enemies yet, so I will give Daria a cube back so she can go ahead and complete this objective. I used the cube, and I do get the XP later, which is going to be 2. So we're done, so we're going to get more enemies. So back to our, over here, what do we get? We're still on green, and you can see how, if we're on red, it does affect, and we would be getting a lot more enemies. So we do get the first melee guy, and then 2 crossbow men. So our melee guy is going to be on A, and then one on B and 1 on C. So here, and oh, look who's here. Well, I don't know if they need to be guarding the objective since the objective is completed. However, Daria always seems to be getting into trouble. So, and again, she didn't leave any action cubes to use her smoke bomb, so we just have to hope that we don't fail the detection test. And we don't! Oh my gosh, we've been really good at this. Alright, so she's incognito, he's not going to attack her. He's actually going to move south. Everybody's moving south. I don't know if now that the objective is completed, he doesn't care about guarding the apartment. So I'm going to pretend, it makes sense that he would just get out of there. He's still in the way though. Alright, so with that we have completed their movement, so we're going to replenish. Because these guys don't move. They're all just kind of here. And this guy didn't move because, of course, he can't get off the map. I'm going to draw another event. And we have Whistle. This one is still from 0.3, and you can tell because it tells you right there. So Whistle, during this turn, 1 time only, 1 incognito assassin can use 1 action cube to whistle and attract 1 guard located on a nearby square, excluding their own square. The guard moves to the assassin's square and is eliminated without performing a detection test. Reminder, any enemy on an objective base or on a square with a red base does not move. Okay, so I think Daria's going to do it. It cannot be a guard that's in her own square, but this guy isn't. So for 1 cube, she's going to whistle. This guy's going to be like, whoa, whoa, what's up? And then he's eliminated. Yeah, I don't know if I want to search that body. I have a bunch of equipment and I need to move it. I need to go help probably this guy and get out of the way, because if these guys are gonna go north, so they're moving over here. So I need to be out of this square by the end of the turn, and I only have 2 cubes left. So I think I'm gonna leave that guy there, and move here. And then there's no walls here, so I'm just, wait a minute. If I move here, I'm gonna be surrounded by these guys. So, yeah, well, I'm gonna move here. And then I'm gonna return a cube to myself and then move out of the way. So when these guys move, I'll be safe. So hopefully Dario doesn't need another cube, because Claudio, oh my gosh, Daria and Dario. Claudio, all right, Claudio, do your thing. So Claudio, well, he can use his throwing knives to try and get one of the guys. It's not being detected, so let's see. All right, we did it. So we got one down. I wonder if we can do it again, or if we should go in there. I think I'm gonna go in there and try the detection test. It's 50-50 chance, whereas this is, that would be bad. That just gets ignored, that just gets ignored. So it's also 50-50 chance. So why not move in there and be one step closer to our objective? So we move in there, and the guy's like, hey, what's up? And like, let's see if he sees us. Actually, now that I think about it, that's probably a bad idea, because when you have a detection test, they roll for the bodies and you. So I'll be rolling 2 dice. So I'm better off just throwing the knives from here. So instead of moving, I'll just throw the knives. Because rolling 2 dice, that's 50-50 chance on 2 dice. And I got it. So, okay, perfect. So we're gonna do that. Now, I don't know if I want to move in there, because same deal. If enemies pop up here, they roll dice for a detection test according to the 2 bodies plus however many enemies are there. So I might want to just stay where I'm at. So I'll save my cube in case I need to throw a smoke bomb for whatever reason. All right. You know what? She could have used, she couldn't have, but she was on the roof. So she could have used her parachute to come all the way here, because I do have a parachute, but it costs 2 action cubes to use it. I'm not gonna go back and check if that was something that I could have done. We'll just keep her there. So that's the end of my turn, but just remember, you have parachutes. I mean, if you have parachutes, right? All right, so enemies, let's do it. All right, we're getting, okay, 1 on A, 1 crossbow man on A, and 2 on B. Well, there's 1 on A. A is getting crowded, and then 2 on B. And now, of course, I could do something, but I don't think I need to. Well, I can use no, I don't need to use my throwing knives. Well, since there's nobody there, I can use 1 action cube to move here and be ready for next turn to clean up the bodies and do everything I need to do. This will do it like that. All right, and now they're gonna move. So they're moving north, because we're still not seen. So there's 2 there, 1 here. And this has the maximum amount of enemies. If we had to spawn another one on this spot, which we're not going to, we wouldn't spawn it, because there's already the maximum amount. But nobody's seen us. We're still kind of hitting, so that's all good. We recover our cubes. And we get an event, which is corruption, which is one of the old ones. During this turn, the first assassin to become exposed after a detection test can choose to discard 1 equipment card for each symbol rolled in order to bribe the enemy. The assassin ignores the result of the test and stays incognito. All right, I don't think we're gonna need that, because I don't think they're gonna see us. And they're gonna be moving north, so these guys are gonna go that way, that one's gonna go that way. Okay, so let's do it. Just move Dario first. Well, not move, but like, he's going to get rid of these 2 bodies. Also, it's important to know, if you have to spawn enemies and you can't, you kind of lose the adventure, so don't do that. So that's another reason why it's good to clean up. We get 2 equipments. The first one is a town crier. For 1 action cube, if there are no exposed assassins or allies on this map, the town crier changes the alert to green. Remove all the red bases from the map, which would be great, but we're not on red, but it's a good card. And then for our next one, we just get a parachute. So I'm keeping my parachute. I have room for it, luckily. And then I'm going to spend my 2 cubes to complete this objective. We have completed both objectives, so now it's time to get out of here. And I think that's what Daria's going to do. Daria's going to use 1 cube to move here, and then she's going to use 1 cube to get out. And she is out of the scenario. And then Dario is getting an extra cube, which he's going to use to move to the roof. Since I know that there's enemies here. And the reason why he got an extra cube is because of Daria's ability. She couldn't get the ability herself because she did not use all her cubes. She didn't need to. But Dario is very thankful to Dario. I keep calling him Dario. Claudio is very thankful to Daria for giving him an extra cube. All right, we're going to the enemies. So let's see what we get this time. All right, we get a couple of them, 3. We get 1 crossbow man on A, and an elite guard on B, and a crossbowman on C. And we're not exposed, so everybody's moving north now. I don't know if bodies count. I don't think they do, so I guess this guy's gonna move here, but he doesn't fit. And we get to pick which one moves in there. All these 4 guys like to move it. This guy goes up here. And I think we can finish the scenario next turn. But let's see our event. Oh, well, first, let's give Claudio his cubes. I don't think she needs them since she's out. And what event do we get? We get Shadow. During this turn, ignore the first detection test, where I don't think we're going to get detected because Claudio is just going to use 1, 2, 1, 2 to come over here, and then 1 to exit. And when you both have exited, you do not need to play the enemy phase. We're already out. So we have completed the memory and we get our rewards. If you don't want this part spoiled, you can stop watching now, but I will show you how the book explains the rewards and stuff. So pretty much the page tells us what to do. Memory 0.3 is synchronized. There's a little bit of flavor text, and then memory completed. Take the reward cards and just give them to everybody. Diary of Memories, we go to the back of the book and we total the XP that we got, and if we find, we write it down and whatever, and then if we get the 100% synchronized, which we did, we killed a bunch of monsters with a hidden blade, then we would get the sticker to recognize us as having completed, and then we return to the villa. Regain strength, we can trade and equip stuff from the villa section of the game, which is just a divider that says villa on it, where we put the stuff that we don't want to equip. And let me show you the back of the book where you keep track. There's actually 3 of them, so you can play the campaign multiple times, which is very nice. And you can see I completed so far everything. Also, I gained 6 XP for Memory 0.3. I'm at 19 XP right now. When we get to, 25? No, 29, 27. Oh my gosh, how are these numbers going? 21, 22, 23, 24, yeah, 25. Yeah, 25 XP, we will level up. So a little bit more for us to do that. And then you can try, if you fail the first time, you can try the scenario again. And if you fail it the second time, then the story just keeps going. The book says that some more experienced assassins come and complete the mission for you. But that's that. Well, guys, there you have it. That was a full run-through of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood of Venice. I do think that as long as you can stay incognito, which is luck, right? Because you're rolling and you have a 50-50 chance of becoming exposed. But in this particular one, we were able to stay incognito, which was great. You saw that I really didn't have to do much as far as attacking enemies. I could just kind of walk around them. I could be in the same space with them and they couldn't see me. It's a big city, Venice, But I do enjoy it. I think as I love finding out more and more about a game as you go. So the whole mechanics of, there's even envelopes that you open when you get to a certain point in the game and they tell you to open them. That hidden information, I don't know what abilities my characters are going to get. I don't know if I'm going to regret the assassins I picked so far. They've been great. I think Daria is great, giving you extra actions, and Claudio using his hidden blade for 0 action cubes is pretty cool. But I will probably play with the other characters just to get familiar with them in the future. If you enjoyed this one, let me know. If you want me to continue the campaign here at Meeple Village, then let me know as well. I can do that. I just didn't want to spoil too much. I know some of you don't mind spoilers, but there might be some of you that do. So don't forget to follow us on social media. We are on Twitter or X, and we are on Instagram, and we post pictures of games, and we also let you know what games are coming up next. We give you snippets of some of the games. So just follow us there if you want to be involved in the channel. And also another great way to support us is by subscribing to the channel. We're trying to reach 2,000. We're not there yet, but we're making our way there. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this one. I'll see you on the next one. But until then, may you play more games.